Hello everyone, it's the Farmsim guy here, hope you're all doing well. Now, the Yarder has been one of the more popular items in the recent Platinum DLC. Now, one of the challenges I've had with it is trying to remember all the buttons for it. There are a lot of different things going on with it in the F1 menu, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a visual display for some of those? Now, don't get me wrong, over time I might get used to memorising what those buttons are. It's pretty easy, but why not make it a little bit more easy for myself? So, with the added help of the wonderful Sim dashboard, I have created a Yarder screen. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We'll walk through it step by step, but basically it's just a visual interface to help you when you're collecting your logs. Now, it's an interesting one because it's not technically a vehicle. You're doing virtually everything outside the vehicle, so some of the limitations of SimDash mean that I can't have interactive buttons and alerts like we have on some of the other Sim dashboards that I've done, like the fence screen or the recent case screens. But at the same time, there's usually always a visual reference with the Yarder, so you shouldn't go too far wrong. So let's look at the buttons individually. We're going to start on the left hand side with Unfold Yarder. That is the only button that you require to be in the tractor for. After that, everything else works independently. Then we'll start at the top with Attach Detach Yarder, which is your button when you originally set up your Yarder, once you've unfolded it, to attach it to the appropriate tree. Next to that, you've got Return Carriage to Last Position. Again, we'll look at that in detail when we're playing with it in a little minute. Underneath those two, you've got Send Carriage to Yarder, which is when you've got a log on it or you want to send the carriage right back to the Yarder. Carriage Follow is when obviously you walk around and it follows you. Underneath that we have got Drop Logs, which pretty much does what it says. And then over to the right hand side there we have got the four-way directional arrow D-pad. Basically moves it forwards, backwards, and lowers and raises the cable once you've got logs attached. And then finally is Strap Logs, which allows you to attach the logs. Of course, you still need to be pointing at that, so there are some mouse interactions that you are going to require to do with this, or controller interactions if you're on a PC with a controller, but you've got to make sure that you are pointing in the right direction so that you will see the green loop around the tree to trigger it. Now, the usual caveats apply. This is a PC mod. Sim Dashboard is PC only. No, it's not on iOS. Unfortunately, due to Apple security protocols, they won't allow it, so it is an Android and PC combination. If you've not used it before, I have got a lot of other videos well worth checking some of those out, which go into it in a little bit more detail. But now we've had a look at it, let's jump in and I'll show you how it works. Now we have our visor screen set up here and we have our Yarder set up down into the valley. What I'm going to do though is detach this, and I am going to start from scratch with it so you can see all the little elements that we do to it. So, first and foremost, you've arrived at your point on the map. Now, everything's a little bit smaller now because I've had to shrink it into the corner so you can see both things, but you should be able to see, if I tap on the screen now, you can just see that little white dot. So hopefully you'll pick up when I'm touching the Sim dashboard. If not, I'll talk you through which button I'm using at the same time. So, first and foremost, like I said, the only button that we need to use to unfold the Yarder, that we need to be in the tractor for, is the button on the left there. So let's tap that, and as you can see, the Yarder moves into place. Now, we can get out of the tractor, we can walk to the back of our Yarder, and you'll know you're in the right place, because when you click the Attach Detach Yarder button at the top there, you will get your cable. Now there's our cable. We have actually cut a channel through this hill here, so we know where we're going. We're going to head right the way down to the bottom here. I'm obviously just using my keyboard now. I'm using the W key to move down here and using my mouse to look about. So you do have to switch a little bit between the Sim dashboard and your keyboard and mouse, or whatever control you're using, but that's just the nature of this dash. It's not like a tractor one. Once you're in cab, you can pretty much control everything through there. But there we go, there's an appropriate tree, so let's put it there. This is a mouse click. Unfortunately, we couldn't have this on the Sim dashboard. It is a mouse click to attach your cable, but once you are done, there is your cable in place. Now, this is where we can have a little bit of fun now, because all of the controls from here on in are able to be done with the sim dash. So let's pick up this log here. Hopefully it's close enough, in fact. Just to avoid any embarrassing failures, we're going to go with this one, which is maybe a little bit closer. So, first and foremost, let's click on carriage follow, which is the button slap bang in the middle. I've clicked on that, and as you can see, it's coming towards us on the cable. We'll wait for it to arrive, and then we'll demo some of the other buttons. And let's try and get it to a place where you're going to be able to see it without it overlapping with that sim dash. So, you press carriage follow again to deactivate that. Now, we'll start to use the D-pad here. So, I press to the left, you can see it moves to the left. Or to the right. Now, you have to bear in mind, it depends which side you are standing on, because now, if I press the left, it's going up, and right is going down. So really assume, and the way I've set it up is, if you consider that that arrow on the left is pointing towards the image of the yard that I've got on the visual, I've worked it out that way. So every time you press left, it's going towards the yarder, which is up at the top of the hill there. And if you press right, it's going away. So, there we go. We've got our carriage in place. We have our tree here now. This is what I was talking about before. You have to be able to mouse over, and it is only a mouse over, or a joystick moved into position for it to work, and then you can click on strap logs, which is the furthest right button, and there we go. We have our log strapped down. Now if I move backwards slightly, just so you can see this, I'm going to press the up button on the D-pad, and there you go. Press and hold the up button. The log continues to go up. Press and hold, and the log will go down. But let's move it up just a little bit. Now again, I can move it to the left to move it a little bit, or I can keep going for a little bit further. Now I've moved it out of the shot, but I'm going to use the return carriage to last position button, which is on the top row there, next to a detached yarder. If I press that, it will bring our carriage back to where it was before. There we go. Now, we're happy with all of that. Everything's working. We've got our log attached, so I'm going to use the last one here, which is send carriage to yarder. I'm going to press on that, and it's going to take our log back up to the top of the hill. We'll chase it up there, and we will drop the log off when we get to the top, which is in fact the last button. Like I said, it's not a particularly difficult or technical sim dash to build, this one. It's just the practicalities of having it in a visual format rather than just hitting keys randomly and hoping I hit the right one. So let's lower our log down again. There we go, and we're going to press drop logs, and there is our log dropped off at the yarder. Now, return carriage to last position, and we'll send it off back down the hill to where those other logs were. So there you go. There's no point in dwelling on it. There's no point in making a longer video than there needs to be. That is your lot. That is the sim dashboard screen for the yarders. Now, it does work with both. I have put the image of the K307 up here, but it does work with a smaller one as well, because all of the controls are the same. So I hope you like this. I hope you find it useful. I hope it helps you a little bit more with your logging stuff, and thank you very much for watching. It is available on the Sim Dashboard store already, but there is a link to it in the description below as well, so by all means go and grab it. Thank you very much for watching as always. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.